So thank you all for being here, and I get to now turn it over to Director, Smithsonian Affiliations Director Howard Foster, and he's going to tell you a little bit about this process.
I think Morgan has said it better than anything I've ever said about the program. So I thank you very much. I think we're going to hire you as our ambassador to all affiliates. We walk about 14 miles every day in the Smithsonian, so I'm glad you got to experience that too. I think we're the fittest workforce in the federal government. There's so many museums that our office in particular has to touch base with on a daily basis to make this work. But I am really humbled to be here in such a historic house and with such an illustrious audience, a group of friends and supporters. I really feel like this is a very special evening for me. Thank you, Morgan, for your very kind introduction, and thank you, everyone, for coming out here tonight. It is truly a great honor to be here on behalf of the Smithsonian Institution to announce this partnership, what we call an affiliation, with the Rhode Island Historical Society. And what a special privilege to be joined by Rhode Island Lieutenant Governor Dan McKee, Secretary of State Nellie Gorbea, Congressman Dan Cicilline, and hopefully Congressman Jim Langevin. This partnership that we are launching is one that will bring the Smithsonian, your national museum, closer to the people of Rhode Island. The presence of so many distinguished elected officials, your service, and your support are truly appreciated. Likewise, warm thanks to the staff of Senator Whitehouse and Senator Reid for being with us. Senator Reid, like Senator Pell before him, and like John Nicholas Brown before him, recently served as a regent of the Smithsonian Institution. He served on our highest governing body, and we have benefited greatly from his wisdom and his leadership. This occasion has special meaning for us because it was here in Providence, nearly 20 years ago, that the Smithsonian Affiliations Program was born, during the celebration of our 150th anniversary. Some of you may remember that. And tonight brings us a full circle from the birth of this program now to our partnership with the Rhode Island Historical Society. Providence in 1996 was the first stop on the tour of our major anniversary exhibit, for our 150th anniversary. It was called America's Smithsonian. And the crowds that came out to see the national treasures that were on display and the enthusiasm that was generated at that time convinced us that we needed a more sustainable way of reaching out to the American public and reaching into their own communities. Since that time, through the affiliations program, we have brought more than 9,000 artifacts, artworks, and scientific specimens out of storage and have placed them on display in museums across America. And we can only do this by working hand in hand with skilled colleagues like our wonderful new friends at the Rhode Island Historical Society. My co-worker Jennifer Brundage and I have spent the day touring the Society's museums and facilities, looking at exhibits and collections, and meeting with staff. We have just been so impressed by the knowledge, professionalism, and commitment that we have seen in everyone today. Rhode Island's history is in excellent hands, and you have very much to be proud of. The importance of this partnership cannot be underestimated because Rhode Island's past carries important messages for our country's future. As you well know, it was here that ideas of religious freedom and freedom of conscience were first articulated. It was here that independence was first declared, and it was here that the American Industrial Revolution was born. Now, the Smithsonian is very proud to share this history with the nation and with the world. And throughout the Smithsonian, in our 19 different museums, you can find examples of Rhode Island's greatness today. The living heritage of Rhode Island's native people at our National Museum of the American Indian. The technological genius of Slater's spinning wheel. The oldest piece of cotton machinery in America at our Museum of American History. The renowned artistry of Rhode Island painters and designers at several of our art museums. And the sounds that change the world from the Newport Folk Festival at our Center for Folklife and Cultural Heritage. Our program is very much, as Morgan just said, a two-way street, and we have already sought the advice and input of Morgan and her staff as we look at borrowing artifacts from the Rhode Island Historical Society to display next year in our newest Smithsonian Museum, the National Museum of African American History and Culture, and also in a future exhibit on the history of religion in America. When we brought our traveling exhibit to Rhode Island in 1996, more than 250,000 people came to visit it in a 38-day period. We knew then that the people of Rhode Island had a passion for history, and we look forward to working with you to keep that passion strong. Through traveling exhibits, the exchange of artifacts, educational programs for children and teachers, and joint research projects, it is our goal to help link the story of Rhode Island to the story of America. In so many ways, Rhode Island is the story of America, and it is a story that all Americans should know.